I call down justice and judgment on this whole uh, issue going on with this inheritance. It's an inheritance that's involved, a trust fund, uh, insurance scam, a property and land, all being is all that in question. All this is dealing with a criminal enterprise that has been creating false narratives that started back in 2020, May of 2020, coming by two individuals that created a lot of these false narratives was the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. The Queen of Wands government name is Danielle Lane, married to a hermit that works for the judicial system, or once did work for the judicial system, who has since been demoted due to false identity. Again, both of these individuals are working from a point of false identity. They're cloaking themselves in different energies, trying to hide themselves, trying to hide from justice being served. However, as stated, with the ideal of what I've known, what I know about the two individuals that are in question. These two individuals, from the record, if I'm not clear, that Danielle Lane is no longer with us, who has deceased. Well, I think Danielle Lane was killed. That's my own. That don't take it. This is my personal view of that. I believe she was killed, and like I said, someone is hiding that reality and continue to try to press forward with illusions and confusion. And her husband, which is this hermit, I was under the impression that he had passed along somewhere along the last year or this year, somewhere earlier on this year. So with the ideal of what's been going on with this whole scenario, and like I in my head, in my startup on delivering this message, I spoke about what this is all about, an inheritance. This is about a will, and about property and land and life insurance policies and some family that's tied into all this. It's a criminal enterprise. And as I stated, they're trying to confuse the courts with illusions and confusion with false narratives about a storyline that was created simply from something me and Danielle spoke on back when we first met, when she was trying to deliver the property to me. I just sent two gift cards from Google that I had sent over to Danielle to deliver that property to me. She had delivered that property to me, and as I stated at the time when she delivered the property to me, I was questioning what was going on. She sent over the documents that were to be given to me to sign off, at which time she worked for a Publishers Clearinghouse as an official, as a loan official, or delivery. She worked in some part dealing with their delivery of the prize patrol. That's what she worked for, the prize patrol. But at the time, she told me that I had to pay. Now, keep in mind, if you go to Publishers Clearinghouse, they got so many videos and footage out on. You don't pay to have these prizes delivered to you. So that's what kind of caused a red flag for me. So she wound up sending me the documents. When I looked at the documents, I noticed her name was on the documents. Right next to mine, and I call that in question, like, what is going on? What's happening? Why is your name? But when I looked at the document, it appeared as though that the documents had been restructured. There was adapted or something to that effect to where you can see where there was something changed up about it. Now, what happened thereafter that she's connected to, David, they had some kind of software or some kind of disk that they can use to duplicate your accounts, where they're able to steal your information with some kind of duplication software, to where they can steal your account information. But anyway, that's what occurred when I got that information from her when they were due to deliver this. Now, keep in mind, she came all the way from New York, from Publishers Clearinghouse, to deliver this information, or deliver this property off to me. But at the time, like I stated, she was stating that I needed to pay the taxes on the prize. So I'm like, well, what was the cost of that? So she was like something like, well, $3,000 or something to that effect. In hindsight, well, I was like, well, I only had this amount. So I sent her $300 through, like I said, Google, through the gift cards, with the gift cards. But anyway, when I sent that, they were here in my city, and she was like, she kept trying to tell me, well, you need more because that ain't gonna get it. You kind of probably need $3,000. Well, I was assuring her that that's not gonna happen. $3,000, and then I already know, Public Clearinghouse, they don't charge you to deliver these prizes, and then you making videos. You'll see her making videos from Publishers Clearinghouse stating about scams and things of this nature. If someone is trying to approach you in this fashion, it's a scam. Be watchful of things like that. To make a long story short, this is the approach. She wasn't confident after learning that I wasn't open to giving her any more money than I'd already sent over to her. At which time they felt like, well, we got to get this money. Well, okay, so now seeing that the money wasn't going to happen, they flipped the script and tried to approach me as a person of interest. Now it's all about a love interest and some sort of past life soul tie connection. This is what it fell into. So, what was going on at this time in my head was like, wow, this is where we at. At which time they stayed here for approximately a week, trying to get me out my house, trying to get me. She was at the time staying around our city airport here in the state of Wisconsin. Got a hotel close to the airport, and I was like, well, if you had this interest or personal interest or whatever, let's meet up, let's connect or whatever. After the fact, she kept trying to get away from the ideal of meeting up. It was important that she took care of the business first, and she don't have time to get on no personal level, but yet that's how you coming to me. But at the same time, she was trying to insinuate, well, I'm going to send over my driver, the person I'm with, to get you or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not going to get in no car with no one to come anywhere looking for you or to deal with you. If I'm not, you can't pull up and we get together and we communicate and do whatever. Long story short, again, I knew it was something going on. So at the time, I just really just broke it down to her and was like, well, you know what? The police are all over this. Something is not right. Something is going on. It scared her. It spooked her. So they left. They got out of here and they left. But at which time they continuously, from New York or wherever they had went back to, her and David, they kept trying to, get me comfortable with the ideal of some kind of past life soul tie connection or some love interest or whatever. But the long story short is that this was the narrative they kept trying to sell. I wasn't buying it. So, we're here now in between that, still trying to figure out, well, we got to get a hold to this guy some kind of way, because keep in mind, they got all this going on. They got false marriage certificates going on. They got false death certificates in place. They didn't wrote me off. All this is already then took place. Death certificates, a funeral, all this then took place in my name. Um, as I stated, with the false life insurance policy, this is the life insurance policy is still in play. So they wasn't even able to do any of this, carry out any of the things that they had already incurred to happen. So now it's like, they was riding on borrowed time, as they're doing now. They're riding on borrowed time. So they're still in a place trying to work on, well, let's get to a place to where we can get to them. If we can get to them and unalive them, all this can go away. That's what the whole narrative has been about. Get to them, getting exposed of him, then everybody can be comfortable. Just to hide all of this that's been going on. But I'm saying that to say is that, me and Danielle, we had a communication line, and that was basically, it was platonic. It was just the talk. We had never seen each other. I never seen this person a day in my life. It was all, like I said, it was an opportunity to try to deliver a home that was due to me. But like I said, she had stolen the home because she falsified the documents and they were trying to cover it up. But not knowing at the time, they went into my Akashic records. They had already stolen my mail. Something was going on way beyond what I was understanding. These people had already falsified information. They had already accomplished defraud me out of some kind of will, some kind of trust fund that was due to me. They never acknowledged to me none of this information, and that's what I think she was holding back on. Something happened to Danielle, though, in between that time, because I can tell you, earlier on, I would say within the last, say 2, maybe 3 years tops, something wasn't really adding up. And as I'm paying attention to what's going on, I was learning that there was a funeral, that had a funeral had taken place with Danielle, that she was unalive. But whoever these geek monsters or geek squads is that's working these computer systems and stuff like that, they're trying to still sell the narrative to the system, to the judicial system, that Danielle is still alive. Now, in respect to the hermit, this guy that she was married to, whatever, or connected with, I'm gonna put it that way, because I don't know, I don't really got the details on that, but I felt like she was committed to something or some sort of relationship in that sense. But when it comes to this guy, due to all the witchcraft and spell work that these guys were doing, and they called me one day, and he called me, and we were on the phone, and I see how debilitated his health was. He was trying to talk to me, but I kind of was upset at the time, and I kind of like pushed it off and kind of hung up on him. But he got a chance to speak and say a few things. He could even hardly speak. So following that, I would say roughly about not even a year, 6 months to a year, I had learned that he passed away. The reason why I'm saying this, to make a long story short, is to underline the fact that Danielle is no longer with us, due to the fact she was unalive by some mean or another. The husband, he passed on. Now, he may have been behind a lot of what was going on, because whatever deal they made a deal with some type of organization to try to enhance their lifestyles. And what I know of it, this is what I know of it, and they use me to try to use me as a backbone to try to say, well, okay, all that fails, this is the person we're going to use, because they saw me prospering from the aspect of the winnings. David had already stolen $400,000 from me when he first engaged me online when I was trying to get him to set up my business. When he set up my business, I was so green to the internet. He had already stolen 400,000 from me that I had won off a casino. I had an account under AT&T email account, in which he stated at which time, this is all on or about May the 9th or May the 8th of 2020, that in order for me to get the assistance and get set up with his company at the time, it was called One Easy Up affiliate marketing. In order to get set up, I needed to come up under a Gmail account. I had to switch over. He's looking into my account. He's looking into my email account, seeing that I had all this money just sitting there. And when I went to go switch over to set up a Gmail account, he at which time tried to confuse me. And what he did is that he kind of hacked my information, switched up my user passwords. So when I got ready to go back in to access all my information, I couldn't gain access back to that information. Now, me not really looking at it like that, I kind of left it alone and just was kind of focused on trying to keep going and trying to build on what I was doing as far as trying to move on with my business or whatever. So I got all that going. I kept trying to stay in contact with him about it. He was like so confused at the time when I went on trying to build my business. I was trying to create a business name, a logo, and a name for my company. So I went with a certain name, and he got upset about it. I'm talking about to the point to where, okay, he's so infuriated. He's trying to send people all out to my home, pulling up on my home, talking about, well, if you do all that, you're going to take my business and all that. At the time, the digital market was really taking a bigger step versus the manual market. So he was confused with all that, and he had a problem with that when he was dealing with me. Was like, well, that's competition. I was his competitor, his competition. So he wanted to knock me out the box. So altogether, he had already stolen my money. He had already created some problems for me that got me booted off my job, which I got booted off. They got me booted off, but was still operating and performing my job. The company I had created. You know what I'm saying? They got me all twisted up with Google on that. And then in hindsight to all that, they still operating everything under my name, my business accounts, running the businesses up under my name, creating businesses in my name. At the same token, he thought I had a love interest or a personal interest for Danielle at the time, which I never did. And he thought can hurt me or have some kind of personal effect on me. But what they went on to do, they created, like I said, false birth certificates, false information, switching my name up, stealing my identity, took my information, and they had people thinking that they were my parents. They went on to my ancestral profile and switched up, and they included their names into my ancestral profile or something to that effect, claiming that they were family to me or somehow tied into me some kind of way through means of blood tie, a family tree or something. But anyway, with that being said, that's why they were here trying to say they're my parents, my dad and my mom or my brother, or, something to that effect. Whatever was going on with that, it's all lies. These are all lies that still haven't been fixed. But at the same token, I'm clearing this up for the record. So all in all, they created something like that. He thought by doing all this and getting with Danielle and being with her was hurting me to some effect. And I'm like, that's what you want to do, be with her. Because keep in mind, I just knew her as someone who's delivering a property to me. I didn't have no personal interest to try to approach her on no level of trying to make no commitment with her. But when it was all thrown at me, it was like once everything went full circle, this was the story. This is what was ran. So everything has been coming down like we have some kind of love interest. We don't even know each other personally. We have never even seen each other. This is the God honest truth. I never even seen this woman a day in my life. And like I said, it was in passing. If I walked past a woman on the street right now, I wouldn't even know her. I wouldn't even know her to this day. And like I said, I hope everything is all well with her. I hope nothing bad happened to her. But if it is, my condolences goes out to her. And at this time, same token, with this other guy, this guy she was dealing with, whatever their endeavors were, it was about this inheritance. It was about wills. It was about all of that going on. You know what I'm saying? It was all about them stealing money, and it was about that. That's what it was about. But to make a long story short, there's still whoever is involved with all this. Everybody, all these players involved. I ain't talking about just two common day criminals. I'm talking about judges, DAs, district attorneys. I'm talking about people from all walks of life, bankers, all kind of people is involved in this criminal enterprise. And all of it is, like I said, it's hitting the fan, it's coming down, and it's going to go down in history in that fashion. And I'm giving it to you the way it really is. And that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And that's everybody. Even people in my immediate household is involved in this situation. And I'm here to tell you, I don't have no respect of a person when it comes to crimes committed towards me and my children. So whatever occurred, when it does come to the forefront, and if justice needs to be handed down, it will, in that order. I'm going to leave it there. God bless you all. Have a blessed day.